Hello and welcome to Speedy Gaming. I'm your host, the Speedy Turtle, and I'm going to show you how to use your OBS. I noticed that a lot of my subscribers that talk to me on my channel or even on my Discord ask me, "Hey, how do you, Speedy Turtle, oh Gerald, how do you do it on OBS?" Well, I'll show you. I actually have two OBSs going right now. One of them is recording the actual screen. I needed it because the last recording didn't go so well, so I'm going to try it again. Because I actually have several recorders that I actually use to record my screen. I use Fraps, I use Action, and I use Bandicam. Hopefully this one will record simultaneously and won't have any issues regardless. But I do have two programs running right now, and I have the OBS Studio right here. So I'm going to show you how to find your specs on your computer. So if we go into... type in Control Panel. This can be found in the search bar of any computer. Open the panel, and then we go into System. So System, what it does is it shows you all the specs, the basic specs of your computer that you have currently on your software. System runs an AMD FX 8150 8-core processor, 3.6 gigahertz, so that's what you're seeing here. And then installed memory, I have 8 gigs of RAM, so I have about 8 gigs of RAM to actually process through gaming and recording, so that's going to be kind of important to know about when you're running a software program like OBS Studio. System type 64-bit operating system by 64-based operating processor, which is actually kind of important to note when you're actually looking at information such as that. And then we have the Pen Touch. Of course, I don't have the tablet, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. And then we have... if you go into Settings, my NVIDIA control panel. Now you can also look up your graphics card control panel here to look at what you have on there. So it's going to open up a window to show you some of the tasks that I have. Let's see. Config. Let's go to File, Edit, or 3D. I'm going to see if I can go into 3D settings here. Program settings. This is my 720X graphics card that I use to run my software program like these guys, and to run like streams and video. So as you can see here, it shows you the resolution, the type, and how powerful the GPU is. If you go through some of the program settings, you can kind of mess with them a little bit, but you can change the resolution, you can change the display, you can change pretty much everything you need to make sure your settings are up to date so that it runs the processing power on your actual computer. But it mostly defaults, so don't even worry about trying to go in to manually change things. It just wants to. It's just an example of what you need to look for when you need to look for a particular graphics card basic in your settings. So I pull open. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong window here. Let's pull open my OBS right here, OBS Studio. And if I click on this, you'll see my little webcam. Hey guys, how's it going? It has several buttons: start streaming and start recording. Sometimes these buttons work, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes it can be a real hassle when sometimes things just don't work, or when things just shut down out of the blue, and you don't know why. You know, you're like, why? Why does things happen like that? Well, it's because your settings aren't properly set up for your actual computer. So what you have to do is you have to go into File. You have to go into Settings, and you just need to go through each of these tabs here. So there's several of them here: General, Stream, Output, Audio, Video, Hotkey, and Advanced. Let's go into General. Now in General, you can actually change the language. You can change it to English. You can change it. You can change the theme. I actually set it to a cry because I can actually see everything that's on here, which is actually kind of nice. I have this automatically to check for updates on startup so that I can actually update this software as I go. I actually have this setting set here. And then open stats dialog on startup. I don't really set this because for people that are really like advanced in their understanding of OBS, they probably want to see the dialog setup because they're programmers and stuff. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. Output, show confirmation dialog. Don't worry about that. Automatically record when streaming. Don't worry about that. You don't need to automatically record when you're streaming at the same time simultaneously. Source alignment snapping is just to show how your snap sensitivity is. So what, like, for example, your sensitivity when you're using the actual program, exiting out or snapping the window to full screen, stuff of that nature. Let's go into here first. Let's go into streaming services. I have two options here. I have a custom streaming server, or I have streaming services. You can go ahead and click on any of these for your information to make sure you get multiple service streams set up. I just have it on streaming services for now. You leave YouTube gaming because that's my main default. Of course, you can show all devices too if you need to. But you can also add Twitch, Smashcast, Mixer, which is a really nice feature, by the way. Mixer.com, Dailymotion, Facebook Live, Restream, Live EDU, Twitter, Periscope. Everything you want for serviceable options are all there, but you can also do that through custom stream server. And then that's if these sources don't show up here. But anyway, we have our primary YouTube ingest server, which I have set up here, and then I have a backup. I don't need to do that. I just need my primary. I can use a backup if I have a separate window, but I don't need to worry about that either. Stream key right here. This is where your key goes from your actual service. So let's go into Speedy Gaming. Let's do a quick little cheat here. Let's go into Speedy Gaming. Yeah, you guys kind of get to see my behind the scenes and see my actual channel as I actually log into it. All right. Yeah, lots of stuff going on here tonight, isn't that so? Oh, Noob Kingdom streaming today, and Camilo. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, let's go into Creator Studio. And then what we'll do is we'll go into live streaming tab. That's where we'll go to see some of our other settings that are kind of important. And then we'll have the main screen pop up here, and it'll show my basically my thumbnail, my default settings for live streaming, basic stream options, monetization. We just need to go all the way down to the bottom, and it shows the stream key here. I'm not going to reveal to you the stream key so that you guys can copy and use my stream on my freaking account. I would not recommend that. But you do need to get your server URL if you need to place that there, and then you need the stream key here. Click reveal. Copy and paste the stream key, and then add the stream key, into this key option here, and then apply and OK. And then you'll go to output. Let me minimize out of this so that it's not so clunky. Output, advanced. I have two options for output. I have simple or advanced. I usually go to simple, and then I go through each of the recording settings right here. So video bitrate is at 1000. I like to keep it that way because that's the actual average amount that you need to put in there for an average stream quality. So for your bitrate, leave it at 1000. Don't go below it. If you have a good graphics card or a good processing power to actually be able to do more than 1500 or 2500 bitrate, I highly recommend it. It gives you the best stream quality ever. And then I have encoder at hardware invec. You can switch to your default encoder as well if you need to, but I always have it at NVEC so that I keep it at my graphics card. This is my graphics card right here. And then my audio bitrate is at 160. I have my encoder preset set to high performance. I leave it at that because honestly, it does give me the best quality performance for my stream whenever I'm clicking on it, especially when I have the mbps here. So I don't need to worry about going too high quality or even low latency, but sometimes you're probably going to have to default to that when things happen or when your stream actually dies on you. Just make sure that you have it set to at least high performance, or if you need to, set it to high quality or low latency, high quality performance. That's probably the better option for you if your computer can't handle it. You have your recording path here. You need to know where your videos are going to go, so you would go to Browse, select a path, a folder. I usually set it to videos, and I select folder there, so that's where it usually goes. Generate file name without space. No, I don't need to worry about that. Recording quality, same as stream. Sometimes I like to keep my video qualities about the same as what I'm getting for my latency. And then I have it on either MP4 or MOV. I like it at MOV because MOV is like the smallest file size. So I'll hit apply, OK, and then I'll go to audio. And I will also... Oh, by the way, I'll just show you the advanced real quick, actually. So in the advanced option, I have my encoder set to NVIC too. So it's the same thing as when you go to simple mode, except there's just a lot more stuff to click on. I have my rescale output to 1024 by 576. That's probably something you're going to have to mess with when you actually go through the actual scaling of your live stream when you use the actual program itself. And rate control, it just keeps control of the actual rate for what you have currently. It's bit rate, so 1000 bit rate. I leave it like that, of course. If I need to, I can go up to 1500 if I want higher quality, but I'm going to leave it alone because higher quality seems to actually do too much of the bit rate, and actually is it makes the actual processing power a little slower. I have my preset to default, my profile to main and auto level, and then I have my B frames to 2, since I need some lag to actually keep up with the bit rate. And then I go to recording, and I'm usually set to standard, so don't worry about going to custom output. Sometimes people want to do that, but I leave it at standard. Video recording path the same, MOV for the recording format, NVEC for the graphics card, and I have my rescale output for my videos set to 1920 by 1080. And you'll notice my CBR bitrate is at 10,000, so I really like my videos at high quality. And when I record, I want to record at the highest quality possible, so I set my bitrate to 10,000. You can set it to 1,000 or 5,000 or 2,500, just like the streaming preset if you want. It's not always recommended to go too high, but for graphics card's sake, it can actually perform at that much. So you can always set it to that amount. Preset to default, and then main to profile to auto, and then we have the B frames at 2. And then we go to audio. Always, all tracks should be set at 160. 160 bit rate is what my processing power can handle, so I'll leave it at that. Replay buffer, I can enable that if I want to, but I don't want to because like YouTube does that for me. Okay, so we go to audio here, and we have the sample rate at 44 kilohertz. Now this is actually the common one that YouTubers or even industry standard people use. 44.1 kilohertz is what I have mine set to. Stereo, I leave mine set to stereo because I like the best quality emitted from it. Sometimes people like to use mono, but I prefer stereo, so it's totally up to you at this point. And then I have my desktop audio device, which is my Turtle Beach speakers. I have those set to that. And then I have my second audio device, so this is my first. I have my second audio device set to microphones, so that I have 2 tracks to actually use. So it's already set for me. However, you can use as many tracks as you want, which is kind of a nice little thing to have if you ever want to run like music in the background or want to do something else separate of that, or like receive someone else's voice. Now right here you have the video capture device, push to enable. I like these because it helps me to actually mute someone that I don't want in the stream or want during the video call if I'm recording something. So like you can use this as a feature, but I hardly ever use it, so you don't need to worry about this. Video. So I have my video base canvas resolution set to 1280 by 720. That's the standard for my actual YouTube channel. Since I'm running at 8 gigabytes and also a 720, I figured 720 would probably be the better base resolution than 1920 by 1080. 1920 by 1080 is good for recording video, but my base resolution for stream probably needs to be set to that standard. I highly recommend that because it'll actually bring out the best performance through your canvas resolution. And then your output resolution is 1024 by 576. So if you want to record 601, YUB color, it's probably best to have this output scale resolution down to the very top of this amount if you have a 720. Or if you're common enough, you can actually go down through the list and actually select 960 by 540 and go down to a scaling resolution to that amount of whatever fits your actual computer specs. Bicubic sharpened scaling 16 samples, I keep this there. And then 30 frames per second, I like this feature because I can actually adjust to about 30 or 60. 60 frames is good for the 1080 graphics card if you have that. I definitely recommend it. We're even going 4K with the new graphics inputs now that are actually being released. But yeah, like this, if you want to record like really good Xbox One, gameplay or PlayStation, 60 frames per second is probably your best option. But in the case of performance, when I'm actually doing live streams or actually doing computer games, I like to set it at 30. You can use hotkeys. I never rarely use them, but the best way to use them is to click on a key, and then it'll select one for you. So I'll use D for an example if I want to start a stream. So I'll use D for start, and then E to end. You can set those however way you want. I normally never use them because I'm just kind of I'm the kind of guy that uses just the actual mouse. Now for advanced, don't worry about advanced. Advanced will actually set your basic standard OBS for you. Your Direct 3D 11, which you probably downloaded along with the program, is already there for you. And everything else should be in working order when you download the actual program. So don't worry about the advanced settings just yet, unless you really want to enable stream delays or do overwrites or replays for your recording. This is the best place to go. Or if you want to automatically reconnect and set your auto reconnect after your connection dies, you could set that there for that, and it'll also allow you to actually connect to a certain IP network. But in the case of this, you're already connected to an IP network. You shouldn't have to worry about recording or streaming a freaking video. So let me go ahead and hit apply, okay? And hey again, how's it going? So you kind of get the gist of what's going on through the settings option, and you kind of understand what you need to do to get this video going. Let me just go ahead and play. Let me just go ahead and do a quick stream test, okay? So I'm just gonna go into I'm just gonna do stream test so that everybody knows that it's not a freaking live stream. So I'm gonna start the stream, and when you start it, notice that there are gonna be there's gonna be moments where you're gonna need to look at the frame. So the frame's dropping. No, there is no frame drop. This is actually really good. We're actually processing the power really nicely. The CPU is actually remaining at 4.0, which is really nice. And then we have the kilobits per second remaining at 1203 and 1137. So this is actually good for you to check on if you want to remain at in the green. It will go into the orange or the yellow. Pay really close attention to that, because if you don't pay attention to that, you will lose the amount that's actually on the system. So it looks like I've got a lot of people coming onto the stream. Hey guys, this is a test stream. Sorry about that. I hope you guys, I will be ending the stream in a little bit. I just wanted to demonstrate for a video so that everybody can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, so now that we have it in the green, it's at 1200. It's maintaining a consistency in like 1,000 kilobits per second. So that is something you're always gonna have to pay attention to when it's about streaming. So let me go into Google real quick, and we'll do a quick internet test to make sure you're actually consistent. And then what I do is I just go to internet test, and then I go to speedtest.net. I click go, and then it'll do a quick speed test for me to show me what I have so far on this actual stream. So let me just go ahead and wait for that to boot up. So as you can see, the meter is going to be straying to the consistency, and sometimes you will dip in the orange. Don't worry about that. The orange and the green is just basically trying to show you the health of the stream that you have so far. So if you have multiple windows open, you will see a difference. But sometimes you'll also be using different windows to actually stream as well. Let's go into the test real quick. And notice that the meter is actually raising pretty high on the upload scale, but we have download, upload megabits per second at 61. We're always going to be either on a constant for a 720 graphics card for the processing power that I have for my actual internet connection. I have about 10.50, so that's a good thing to keep in mind when you want to actually keep your settings to about 1500 or 1000 bits per second. So just keep that in mind when you want to make any adjustments. Just try a speed test. It'll always save your life in the long run. Bump this video up to 15 likes. It really helps me a lot. And share this video with everyone that you know. And don't forget to hit the notification button if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post thus far. And thank you guys so very much for watching. Chips and Frosties, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next live stream / video. Bye!